Hi, Anti-Society. Welcome back to the Antisocial Planet. Today we're getting into Frieren episode 2. I'm pretty excited for this because I feel like the first episode is always like setting up a lot of things, getting us interested in the world and the characters and all of that. And we did a bunch of time skip stuff as well, but we've got some things to work out. We've got this book to figure out. We've got an apprentice to train. I also wonder if we're going to have some interest in figuring out giving like immortality or longer life to humans as like Frieren learns more about humans, spends more time with them, becomes more attached to them, and might want to be able to spend a longer life with them in comparison to hers, right? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out. In 3, 2, 1, go. I feel like this opener is going to mean more to me now. I don't want to notice too many things because I know that openers can have spoilers. So I don't want to be too aware, but I do like the sound of it. Okay, that's our team. I do like that kind of like mirror effect though, but like isolated, like none of the other people have faces or anything, right? Even kind of existing in these other spaces. I'm sorry, I forgot about the mimic. We haven't met the redhead, have we? Is that our apprentice? I don't like the smile still. I honestly don't know how much of a plot we're gonna get. If there's gonna be a baddie, you know? And not like a fun one. Okay, we're studying. We're getting some knowledge. Sure, I know. I play Final Fantasy. Okay, so we work on the mana. So like no whip, no thing for you anyway. Patience. Easy to say when you have a lot more time, but and also to like a kid, I feel like patience is not an easy thing. But I do like that we had the like fishing, which is like a again a patient activity, right? It's about waiting. Ugh, I miss snow. I know it's very Canadian of me, but oh, and autumn. I want autumn so badly. I'll get there soon. Good transition. I do love the classic, let's use the seasons to explain that time is changing. We have like the hair growing longer. Not him throwing his vegetables over. But it also makes sense because like we have a main character that isn't going to age rapidly over that time. Ooh, I like we have the circle. We have like the drawing the circle, and then we have the like ripples in the water. Some good lineup of some of the imagery. Determined. Will you? And will it turn out okay? Oh, yeah, I was like, I'm worried about you. It's been a while. And you were like, I'm already not doing great. Having the bad weather too also makes me feel like it's not gonna turn out well. I was also thinking, like, he's living a lot longer than he thought he would. You need to care about the people. Do we want to do it so that we can show him your progress? Um, yeah. Is that why the drinking? Hmm. I kind of like that idea of like you learn those things from someone else and you're like, it wouldn't make any sense. Or like taking the things that I've learned and using them, even if like I don't see it myself. Mm. But it kind of goes with the she must love magic. And then again, we get this back and forth of like, does she love magic, or is it like again being in that kind of middle place with it, which I think is also important to be like to not think that like everything about magic is great or to let it kind of consume you entirely. I know that she's devoting a lot of time to it, but it's from this place of proving oneself and being like I want to show that like I'm going to take what someone has taught me and use it to do something in the world, right? Ooh, that looks impressive. Let's go. I think I don't know, I'm so used to magic in series being like a little questionable. Oh, yeah, did we know that? We're just like I need something to keep you here. Yeah, he's like now I'm not leaving her alone. Mm, that's very cute. It's gonna make me emotional again. Cause it's not gonna be well. Yeah, he doesn't want them to see. Oh, they're like, I don't want her to experience losing someone else. because he saw what she was like after losing her parents, right? He's like, I won't be here to like help her with that. Yeah, she's not a little kid anymore. I do agree though. Like she was so young when she lost her parents. She's grown so much and like she understands what death is, given that she's an orphan, right? And that seeing someone grow old, you're like you kind of have to make your peace with the fact that they're getting old and what that means, right? I was like, was this the friend we were talking about? Oh. Oh, I'm so like emotionally invested in these characters already. It's been like an episode and a half. And I'm like tearing up again. Yep. She's proven something to herself now, right? As well. Oh. Back to her promise, what she originally came to do. Kind of like this little cabin. That's a home now. Thank you very much. Oh my god, pumpkins. Oh, I miss autumn so much. I'm fine. I don't even care. I'm a normal person about this. And why not? Nice. We collect spells. Those all seem like great spells to me. Only somewhat. I don't know. I feel like maybe we're gonna figure out that there's some differences, but and also the mission is to be like, let's learn about normal everyday life, right? Oh, and also why we might participate. Definitely do it for free. Oh, I'm assuming this has to do with the demon king, goblin king, the thing we fought. It's what he would have done, save somebody. I think it's interesting too to be like, it's just like, you know what? His vanity doesn't need it anymore. But also like, yeah, his vanity got in the way. He could have not let them do this. You're right, posing. Mhm. But I do think it's interesting again to be like Frieren, who has like a direct connection to these people in this story, and then other people forget about what's happened, right? Because they get older and generations afterwards learn it as a story and history, and it's different from actually being in those moments, right? Hmm. Aww. You can plant them though, or research them. Herbalist. Bring them back for the sake of an old friend. Did we take the squirrels? For what? Friends? Oh, I'm sorry. Not squirrels, but they look like them. And also to bring them back. I love that I'm probably doing this for myself. Giant turtle. Sorry not to be distracted immediately. But I like that I'm probably doing this for myself, but like it's also connection to a friend. Like it's like again, she's kind of learning this how do I connect with people, right? Used to being on her own, used to kind of being on her own schedule and not worried about, connecting with others. Also love a good cauldron. So many beautiful shots in this show of just like nature, playing with lighting. Why not? She's like, we should give up. And Frieren's like, no, we're gonna keep going. But again, 6 months is different for her than it is for average human. And we have a spell to make a good cup of tea now. Mm. I can get how that might be frustrating if you come from like conflict and destruction and you're like, how can you not be using this great power to do great things? Because you have before. Why don't you do it now? Probably. It's better to just talk it out. Is it remarkable what you can get done when you're just like, hey, how do you feel about this? Yeah. Like I said, she's used to only being on her own time, only doing her own stuff, right? They'll decide for us where they're going to be planted. Oh, we got some magic for tracking. God, the blue next to like the autumnal colors. Beautiful. Get a helping hand. Symbolic. So it was a hobby before. Yeah. Far less connected. I like how we have that connection of like I used to be like more like apathetic, and then we get the statue of like having the ears that are very similar to Frieren's, but also feels kind of deity-like, which also feels like worship, which feels again disconnected as like something other from humanity, right? Aww. Why not? Why not do things for silly reasons? Gonna find it. Just need to be wait for nature to show us the way. Also, because they helped. So what, seed rats? I don't know about the translation. But right. And they would if anyone has seeds for these plants, the foragers. Mm-hmm. Nature, cycle of life. And also blue. Bit of a theme. Oh, I'm sorry. I made the comparison and I shouldn't have. Aww. They didn't get the opportunity and she did it anyway. But we did it. Yeah. You just have to find the thing that like makes it matter, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And because you had someone who was like encouraging of being like, oh, you have this great talent, you can do this great thing, right? In the same way that like Frieren was like, I had this person who was like, I like that you collect these spells. So she kept doing it. And no longer like she saw it before as like this frivolous thing to be like playing in the flowers or like making the crowns or whatever. And then she was like, actually, I'm going to participate. I really liked that. It makes sense with some of the stuff we're gonna get the end of credits here too as well, but I love just the slowing down, right? And like letting nature like go through the cycles. And I mean, I don't like that we began this episode with like one of our characters dying again, because I did tear up. But it's like that cycle, right? Of being like the ending of life, and then we get the beginning of life again with these seeds and like planting these flowers, and it being at this site that's like now a bit of a memorial for someone, and like remembering who that person was, when most people just know it as like a story as opposed to like the actual person, right? Like a legend. And it being because like nature helped with it, right? Being like, oh, these like seed rats should be in the forest where they belong, and like because you put them where they belong, you end up finding what you're looking for, right? So it's, I don't know, I like the juxtaposition. Heartless? Oh, I don't like that. I don't like the name of that. I feel like I have so many things to talk about a show that like doesn't have any like crazy plot thing going on right now. I love a good character driven story and like symbolism and stuff. And I think that there's something in this episode where, like I said, oh, this is like a silly reason to care about magic or to care about these flowers or this weed or whatever. But I think, why not let something be silly? Why not enjoy something or like something because it's silly and have silly reasons, and like hobbies and stuff are meant to just be because they make you happy, and maybe it's a silly reason or whatever. But I also think it's not really at the core of why these things matter. I think so many of the stories throughout this episode were people make things matter. The inherent value of something isn't really there. Not to get like philosophical, but I feel like things don't really have value except what we give to them, right? So to one person, it's just a statue that nobody cares about, right? With Himo. But to this older woman who was saved by him, it's symbolic of her life being saved, of this person that gave her a chance to grow old and to learn from and stuff, right? To other people, this is like a weed, this like flower is like the blue moon weed or whatever. It's just a weed, or it's just a flower. It's just something that isn't around anymore. But to Himmel, it was a symbol of his hometown. To Frieren, it was a symbol of her friend who said, hey, someday we should go and see this together, and they didn't get the chance, right? The reason that something matters is because we give meaning to it. And there at the end with Fern, where, you know, Frieren was like, you chose magic. You say yourself, you could have chosen any kind of vocation that would like allow you to look after yourself and not be a burden to the people that matter to you. But the reason that it matters is because someone saw this talent in you and was encouraging or delighted by it, or saw it as something valuable, right? Same with like Frieren, where she's like, the reason I collect these spells that are about how to take like the rust off of statues or make a good cup of tea or turn like sweet grapes into sour grapes is because there was someone in my life that I care about who saw that as something meaningful, who took delight in that. And we enjoy bringing delight to the people that we care about, right? And sharing in something. That simple thing has weight and value now because it links back to this moment with someone who mattered, right? So I think it goes to the core of, I think, what we're getting to with this show, of why Frieren is trying to learn about people, right? She's spending time with them and connecting with them is because that's how you get the value of something. And her like saving all of these people, being this like adventurer in these stories now, the reason that they did all of that is because it's helping people, because it's making it so there are people who are like, hey, this person saved me and now I get to live the rest of my life. Even like Fern, right? She got to live the rest of her life and be this person who's learning all of this magic and has this great talent, is like being like encouraged to be a mage because of these like acts of heroism or whatever, like this attempt. And even that was like, oh, I'm going to be a hero because this other person would have done it. This domino effect of people doing things that that impact other people and make things continue to matter. And I love the line with Heater. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it correctly, but when he said the line of, it would have gone to waste, like this courage and this heroism would have gone to waste if I didn't take the fact that I learned that from someone who isn't here anymore and who can't continue to do these wonderful things, but I am still here and I learned this from him. So I feel obligated to continue that, right? Like what a waste it would be to not pass on this thing that I've learned, even if I don't see it myself. And I think that's very symbolic of, maybe it's just like the imposter syndrome of me, but we don't tend to see ourselves in the same light that other people do. And we don't always see the impact. And because we experience all of our life through our own perspective and like all of the different facets of it, it's difficult for us to see past the weeds, right? Like it's difficult for us to kind of see past the noise to what we are from like a more pulled out perspective. I don't think that anyone who's ever been labeled as heroic necessarily saw themselves as heroic, right? That was something that other people saw of them from a distance, and having that feeling of I don't really fit into that, but I've learned some of that from someone else and it feels like a waste to not take what I've learned and to have some impact because that person isn't here to do that anymore. I don't know. I just think there are so many good things in this and these little sections of it. Like it doesn't feel like this episode had a plot thread over the whole thing, but it does feel like it had a theme over the whole thing, which I do honestly really like, especially since we had some more time jumps of, hey, we need like Fern to be a little bit older and deal with some stuff. So I like that we're getting that through line of there's themes that are connecting this story together, if not necessarily having a very like episodic set up the plot, go through the kind of challenges of that, conclude the plot at the end of the episode. Less of a like monster of the week kind of thing and more of a let's dive into different themes. And I don't know, it's a really pretty show and I like something that's just a bit like patience and appreciation of simple mundane things or whatever. But I'm already invested. I'm already like emotionally invested and just like generally really enjoying this show. And I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. You can click this playlist to go to my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so next time I post a Frieren reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.